Welcome.
I don't know how ready I am.
Oh, ruining the intro. So
well,
ready.
You asked me a question and then you just went into it. So.
It's true, but welcome to the Grand Affidavit. He is Grant.
And he's David.
Hey, we did it again. There you go. We are back for another go-around. This time we're going to get into something that we call the debates because we're incredibly creative when it comes to titles.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all. That is all. Basically, how the debate works is this. We are going to debate something that is completely and utterly ridiculous, and then we got to take a side. We get given a side, or do we get to choose a side, depending on where you sit? I don't know. But anyways, we get given a side, and we have to debate it, no matter how ridiculous it is and why it's a good thing that we get this one. And it's basically just going to be an ongoing competition, an ongoing game, I suppose, between the two of us to decide who is the ultimate debater.
Well, and all these are going to evolve over time anyway, so
the master debater, as it were.
Doesn't even matter. Oh, are you going to do that joke?
I was like, I expected you to do it actually when I said ultimate debater, and then you moved on. I was like, all right.
I have standards on jokes.
I don't know if I buy that, to be perfectly honest. I think sometimes
if I thought it was a bad joke at the right time, I'd do it, but not with a softball lob to a simple, old, like 30 million year old joke.
Yeah.
It's one of the top 10 first jokes of all time.
You're probably right. That's fine. Anyways, let's get to the debate, shall we? I decided.
I wonder if the Greek would have worked out. Do you know any Greek at all?
No.
Okay, no Latin?
No, I'm sorry. I was never a part of a fraternity.
Because I don't know if that phrase would line up with master debating. I'm a master debating. And if the other phrase of masturbating would line up with that, I don't know. Who knows? Would it have worked? Is this strictly an English thing? I'm going to have to do some research into this. I'll get back to you. A special report later on.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. But let's get into the debate. You could do your report later. Right now, we're going to get into a debate. And so
I was going to hold the whole series on pause while I do 9 months of serious, hard-hitting linguistics research.
This sounds.
And then I'm going to produce my own whole movie about meeting aliens, and they speak Latin, and all they want you to do is say master debating.
This is an idea for a podcast in the future, I think. This one can be fleshed out, as it were. Okay. So this is how it works. I am conceding choice to you this very first debate. From here on out, if we can determine who wins a debate, they get to pick next time. If that makes sense. If we don't know who wins a debate, I don't know how we decide. The fates shall decide.
We've really worked it out.
Yeah. Okay, so you're up. We got a list of different things to debate. Top of the list is your mom.
Yeah, I don't get what that is at all. So
I was literally just in the Google Doc typing something because you made the doc and didn't put anything in it. So I was like, all right. And I just typed your mom. Anyways, I figured that's what we debate. No, it's your choice. What are we going to debate, Grant?
Oh, this is so tough. There's so many good things on here.
Came up with them all off the top of my head. Or BuzzFeed.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with eat a bowl of hobo vomit or suck a hobo's foot.
All right, and so which side are you choosing and debating first?
Well, I'm clearly going to take suck a hobo's foot.
All right, well, so here's the thing. We did not decide this. Do we want to set a timer and you just get uninterrupted for that amount of time, or are we just you just start the argument and then we just jump in and go back and forth? Much like
I was just gonna say words and then whatever happened,
so it's like more like like a YouTube/Facebook comment section where everyone's just saying stuff at once.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Start the argument.
The most important thing about sucking a hobo's foot is nothing necessarily has to go down your throat and into your stomach. You don't have to retain any of that hobo footness at all. Sure, I think the worst part about it would be the stench. The stench leading up to putting it in your mouth. And you could almost argue that the longer it's in your mouth, the less it's going to smell. For all you know, that could be his first cleansing in who knows how long.
Well, that's my main concern about putting a hobo's foot in your mouth is how long has it been since that hobo's foot has been cleaned? Is this hobo, does he wear shoes? Does he walk around barefoot? Where is he living?
He wears like fancy shoes, but the front is ripped off of the shoe.
Now, does he have gangrene?
Well, if he has
Like when
gangrene, I don't think gangrene's contagious. So I still go for
no,
it.
but I'm wondering if when you suck on this hobo's foot, are you going to accidentally dislodge a toe that's going to go down your throat?
Well, how hard are you planning on sucking? Well, how long do you think or how hard do you think I'm planning on sucking a hobo's foot?
Well,
it's not going to be like a hardcore, I'm giving this hobo a hickey on his toes type thing.
Right. Let's say it takes me a minute to consume this bowl of hobo vomit. Let's say. So you have to suck on his foot for a minute. And what if his foot is just rotting? Just like, like he's been on the street a long time, maybe suffered through some cold winters, frostbite, like his foot is waiting for your mouth to remove said toes.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off his half a shoe. It's always a loafer. It's always brown, and the bottom is always peeled up. Like the sole is peeled up, and the toes are peeled up. So it's like it looks like an alligator, but with shoe face, a shoe face alligator.
Go on.
Okay, so I take the shoe off first. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the foot really hard on the ground to dislodge anything.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm going to be banging it on the sidewalk as hard as I can, dislodge any toes, whatever. Well, not as hard as I can. I don't want to break anything. Because I can make it easier for me to dislodge them in my mouth later, I guess. So, but yeah, so I'll knock it a couple times. I'll wiggle each little piggy on the way to the market,
falling off,
and then I will go to the market and I will suck on that foot for a minute.
Now, what happens if this hobo has a fetish that involves random strange dudes sucking on his toes? And while you're doing this, you happen to lift your eyes, and he's got this creepy smile on your face. On your face, he's got this creepy smile on his face. The knowing smile, as it were, and you realize you've been suckered, you've been trapped, and you're not getting paid for this, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, was I getting paid to begin with this? I was presented with, Mephistopheles came up from wherever he is, and he says, you got a bowl of vomit or a hobo's foot. Was I expecting payment at the end of either of these?
See, what I'm expecting is that if you were getting paid for this, you'd be like, okay, I'll do this, 1 minute, $5. It's worth it. But if you're not getting paid...
How much would it take you to actually suck a hobo's foot?
Well, I'm setting the price for you, not for me.
Well, okay, first of all, I would suck a hobo's foot for free before I would suck it for $5.
What? You mean you don't want to degrade yourself to the point where you're like, I'm doing this for money? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
So you're doing it for fun.
This is what I'm doing right now, is sucking a hobo's foot. But if I have to change my LinkedIn profile to career hobo foot sucker, that's where I draw the line. Unless, of course, if I'm like a premier, like
foot sucker, hobo foot sucker,
Paris Fashion Week level hobo foot sucker, then that's fine. I could be a hobo foot sucker, just like I could be heroin chic if I really wanted to.
I'm really glad that we've gone down this path now. We're actually writing out your future. I am convinced that you are convinced that sucking hobo's feet is something you could do.
I'm pretty sure I could do it.
Like pro bono.
I'm thinking about it.
And pro boner too, probably.
Well, I mean, the first bit is, I think the feet, I mean, yeah, they'll be filthy with like earth filth.
Yeah.
But I think because when you're a hobo, you can't sleep naked.
Right.
But you can sleep with your shoes off.
Right.
So the feet are going to probably have the most air out of any part of this hobo that you're going to possibly be sucking on.
I suppose.
So, I mean, you got a really clear case here where the cleanest part of this hobo, like bacteria-wise, may very well be the foot.
Those planter's warts are just going to taste lovely.
Oh, I forgot about the blisters.
Oh, and you're shoving that foot as far down as much foot in your mouth as you can take. Like,
which is great because I do have a small mouth, so it wouldn't be...
So probably like tears rolling down your cheeks because you're gagging on the foot, and he's loving it. That is why I'd rather eat a bowl of hobo's vomit.
I think where it, you asked me about the knowing look. If he did the knowing look while he slowly put his hand on the back of my head, I think that's when I would be like, I'm checking out of this.
I'm done. I'm out.
But the likelihood of him having 10-foot arms.
I just unplugged my headphones.
Very low.
I just unplugged my headphones. I was so excited about that last comment. No, but
see, the problem with hobo vomit, though, is you're going to have chunks of stuff in there, man.
I appreciate that you added the hobo vomit It was originally just a bowl of vomit. But here's the thing about the hobo vomit. When was the last time he ate? How much is actually going to be in that bowl of vomit? Because for all I know, it could literally, and I mean, not that this is something I'd enjoy doing for money or for free, but literally just drinking bile.
Well, no, he took the front part of his shoe and he made soup out of it.
Oh, jeez.
So it's shoe leather stew.
Well, no,
that's
that's not how this works. He would have had to have eaten his shoe. Did he eat his shoe, or did he? Are you saying that he just took his shoe after vomiting into a bowl, quite neatly, I might say? He didn't get any on the ground surrounding it, and then added pieces of his shoe.
Like he has a cheese grater and he grates a piece. Would you like some fresh hobo shoe with your soup today, sir?
I do believe, though, that the hobo shoe, I'm going to assume, like when we're talking acids and bases, that it's a base that's going to neutralize that acid in his vomit, and it's actually just going to make things better. I'm going to probably like pull out a big soup spoon and just like slowly sip on it and pretend it's something else.
Now, what if I'm the hobo that you're eating the vomit of?
Okay.
And I had just sucked the hobo's foot, and I inhaled several of his toes, and I vomited into a bowl, and now you're eating my hobo foot, hobo vomit.
No, man. Again, it's all about adding, like I'm not a big soup fan, right? So I feel like the more things that we can,
clearly a stew at this point,
the more things we can add to this, the more stew-like it becomes. So I would probably, accompany it with a nice baguette of some sort, maybe, and
I get you.
Scoop the hobo vomit stew onto the bread, and it makes a nice delectable meal, whereas sucking on a hobo's foot just probably feels like you're being used and abused.
Okay, so what if the hobo is feeding you the hobo soup?
And he's got that knowing smile on his face?
Exactly.
I'm out.
And at this point, see, his hands can be close to your head, so he could do anything with it. He could slowly push the back of your head onto the spoon.
He's like gagging me with the spoon. And then I throw up into the bowl, and then you have to eat it. Now,
I think at this point he has to eat that.
He has to eat.
And
you said you're the hobo.
That's how human centipedes work.
You said you're the hobo, right?
Well, no, I was also a hobo. Another hobo.
You're just the hobo watching this carnage from the side, cheering everybody on. Yeah, make him eat your vomit, and then vomit, and make him eat that vomit.
Yeah, it's important to have the process. It's called the circle of life, or the water cycle, or the vomit cycle, the hobo foot cycle, the gangrenous cycle.
Here's my
I'm worried here at this point, though. If the hobo, I'm sucking on hobo foot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if I get a toe that goes into I can tuck that aside in my cheek like a bit of chaw. I can just shove that over there, and I can keep the toe in my cheek. And then when I'm done for that minute, I can pull it out of my cheek and put it on the ground.
So you're like
now, if there's hobo toe in the hobo vomit,
yeah,
you got to eat that.
But you would have had to have eaten that for there to be hobo toe in the hobo vomit.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. So at some point in time, you're eating a toe. Did you hear about the guy who ate the toe up in Alaska? I think it was at some bar. They got this famous toe shot, and you're not supposed to drink the toe, and he drank it and swallowed it. Anyways,
and is he alive?
Yeah, he's alive, and he's being sued by the bar, or he was banned for life or something like that. They're like, you're not supposed to do that. They want his toe.
They put it in the shot glass?
Yeah.
What do they expect from him?
Well,
it's like if you're making a meal and you put at a restaurant, you put something on the plate. All those things should be edible.
This is true.
It's like people put flowers on plates, and those are always edible. You can eat those if you want.
Yeah.
You're not going to put poinsettias on the plate.
I mean, I wonder.
Like, you asshole, you weren't supposed to eat that. Now you're going to die.
I wonder how long that toe was sitting around for, and just like I'm very much a texture person when it comes to eating, which is what would make eating the vomit very difficult, I think, all the different textures. But that toe...
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get with you, was the chewing of the vomit would be a problem.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean... let's be fair here. This is a very one-sided debate. Anyone would rather suck on the hobo's foot. When it boils down to it, nobody wants to eat a bowl of anybody's vomit, let alone hobo vomit.
What if it was your vomit?
So like much like a dog. So I puke it up and eat it.
Yeah.
I guess it depends what I ate before. No way, man. Like I can't even. I'm one of those people where if someone vomits, the smell of it makes me queasy.
Okay, I'll give you a quick story. I was at my Red Deer College. I went to school there, and there was a party one night, and we were in a dorm room, and there was a George Foreman grill, right?
Yeah.
You know the grease trap?
Yeah.
So it was filled
With vomit.
and I grabbed it. I'm like, look you guys never clean this? And then somebody yelled from across the room, I'll give you $20 to eat that whole thing.
Oh, jeez.
And I thought for a second, I'm like, I don't know. $20. And then her boyfriend, I was going to do it for $20, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then her boyfriend's like, I'll double it. So now we're talking about $40. I grabbed
To a
a spoon
college
and I
student.
started chunking it down. And you know what's crazy about that?
Huh.
Is you could taste all the foods that were cooked on there. There were layers of this
man.
grease. And so it was 3 or 4 heaping spoonfuls of this gelatinous, history of this dorm room's dinners. And I'm just shoving this down my jaw. And I get to the last spoonful, and I'm this close to losing it. And so I get the last spoonful in, and I throw up in my hand.
Yeah.
And obviously the caveat was, we'll give you $40 if you don't throw up.
If you don't throw up, yeah.
That's you have to do that. I think that's somewhere in the Constitution. It has to be there. And what do you think I did?
You ate the vomit.
I ate the vomit. I just quickly slurped it right back down. They gave me $40. I quickly left the dorm room. These were the outside condo dorms at Red Deer, and I walked 7 doors down to my dorm, and I sat there with my friend Dustin, and I said, Dustin, we're getting pizza tonight! And we ordered 2 Panago pizzas.
That's awesome. Oh, man. Had you gone with Little Caesars, you could have gotten 8 of them, though. 8 pizzas.
Sadly, there was no Little Caesars around there. They didn't do the hot and ready delivery. So.
Right. I thought you were going to say that you walked 7 doors down, went into your dorm, and went straight to the bathroom and threw it back up. But you kept it down?
I kept it down and then doubled down. Like the calories for that day,
right.
The fat intake for that day was insane. Because then Dustin and I ate a Panago large pizza each.
Jeez, set you on a course for the rest of your life. Remember that one time?
But speaking of Little Caesars, later on, when Dustin and I lived further in northern Red Deer, there was a Little Caesars right nearby, and we had it almost 2, 3, 4 times a week. But we actually built furniture out of their pizza boxes. We had an entertainment center. We had a coffee table and all this stuff. It was great.
That's impressive. That's it. Little Caesars is the one pizza. I'm going to say this. I've often had this conversation where pizza is fantastic because you can literally eat it at any time of the day, right? You get pizza at supper time? Fantastic. You're hungry in the middle of the night? Fantastic. You want pizza for lunch? Fantastic. You want pizza for breakfast?
Well,
fantastic.
as they say, pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime.
But Little Caesars is the one pizza where I would actually argue against that. Because within about the first 5 minutes after you get that pizza, once it's kind of cooled off a little bit, you're probably better off eating the box it came in than the pizza itself. It's just
so true.
It tastes like cardboard. At the same point, it's $5. You can't argue that, right? I remember when I went to school in Lethbridge, we had a Little Caesars that was inside the cheap movie theater. So,
no, that's horrible.
Oh, so you go on a Tuesday and you'd pay $2 to go to a movie. And I remember doing this for Die Hard with a Vengeance, I think. Was that the one that Kevin Smith was in?
No, that was Die Hard.
Die Harder?
I don't know. It was the next one.
Anyways, that I went and saw that in theaters, $2 on a Tuesday, and went and bought a $5 Little Caesars pizza and a can of pop or whatever. I was I literally sat there for $8 and watched a movie and ate an entire pizza by myself. It was fantastic.
Here's the differences between U.S. Little Caesars. I live in the U.S., by the way. U.S. Little Caesars, and I know that I live in the U.S. I'm just saying, 'cause I assume somebody else might listen to this one day, that U.S. Little Caesars does large pepperoni pizzas for $5, and up there it's medium.
Yeah, it is, and they suck. I mean, I don't know if it's better that it's a large or not, because that's just more crappy pizza you essentially have to eat. Anyways,
then you share it at that point.
Yeah, that's fair. Who shares? Come on, man. Come on. Anyways, I'm willing to concede you won that debate. You definitely picked the easier side to debate. Sucking on a hobo's foot versus eating a bowl of hobo vomit.
Some of the things that I was thinking about when you were talking about toes falling off.
Yeah.
Like if there's a pussy wound.
Yeah. And there's going to be. There's going.
And you suck hard enough that you pop it, and it's like you're drinking a milkshake. Now that's where I was like, that might be where I draw the line.
But that's an if. Eating a bowl of vomit, you're literally, what you're eating. You're eating vomit. You know what I mean? There's no ifs about that.
If it's just bile,
you just drink it. That's gonna burn. Yeah. That is gonna burn.
But also half the time there's gonna be like moonshine in there.
Right. What if the deal is the same as your $40 deal, and if you puke it back up, you then have to consume that, and it just keeps going until you keep it down?
Oh man! For both instances, with the bowl of vomit, I think the bowl of vomit would be really tough to eat, unless it's just the bile. I think I could do the bile. I think I can do a bowl of bile.
The bile is what stinks. You know what I mean? Like the bile is like, when you're right before you throw up, you're like burping and it tastes like just gross eggs.
Yeah.
That's anyways, I am willing to say that you win. Sucking a hobo's foot. Okay. I mean, there's the off chance that, it's probably a pretty good chance that you might pop some sort of pussy wound into your mouth. But whatever. Whatever. I'll take the chance of it not happening over the fact that I'm just straight up eating vomit. That'll do it for another episode of the Grand Affidavit. Grant, how can they follow you on the old Twitters?
Twitter.com/Fejimans, FEJIMANZ, or Zed, depending on what country you're in. Because that's true. There are two different ways to say Zed.
There are.
Z.
I think we should create a third way one of these days so you can add to it. If you want to follow
Ephraim.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @sing_victorious. And of course you can follow us on Twitter @GrandAffidavit. That'll do it. Hey, my timer's going off that says we're done. So bye.